Okay, folks, buckle up, because we are diving headfirst into a story that sounds like something straight out of a spy movie.
Yeah, it sounds pretty intense.
You know, all that talk about Starlink in Ukraine, well, it's about to get a whole lot more interesting.
Oh.
So word on the street is that the U.S. might be playing hardball, using access to Starlink as like a bargaining chip.
Oh, wow.
And what are they after, you ask? Well, they've got their eyes on some seriously valuable minerals that Ukraine's sitting on.
Interesting.
But before we get too deep into this whole cloak and dagger situation, there's one super important fact we got to establish right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure.
Poland. They're the ones who actually own the Starlink system that's up and running in Ukraine right now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they bought it straight up.
Yeah.
Paid for the whole thing.
Huh?
And their Minister of Digitalization, Krzysztof Gawkowski, even came out and said that he doubts the service could be just like shut off.
Because of their involvement?
Exactly.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So we've got all these different players on the board, information flying around left and right.
Yeah.
What is the real play here? What's actually going on?
Well, it's likely that the U.S. tossing around this idea of cutting off Starlink, it was more of a power move.
You think so?
Yeah, like a tactic in a bigger negotiation rather than a real threat.
Oh, I see.
Think about it. Ukraine is like super reliant on Starlink now for communication coordination,
Right.
especially for their military. It's a pretty big lever to pull.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then what's the U.S. really after here? Why this whole sudden focus on Ukraine's mineral wealth?
Well, Ukraine's got some pretty substantial deposits of resources that are absolutely critical to a bunch of key industries.
Okay, so what are we talking about here?
Well, for starters, we're talking lithium. That's like the heart and soul of batteries.
Yeah.
For everything from your smartphone to electric cars. Then you've got rare earth elements. Those are essential for making all sorts of electronics. And even titanium, which is a must-have for the aerospace industry.
Titanium, wow.
So you can see how getting their hands on these resources would give the U.S. a major leg up in these sectors, especially as things get more and more competitive on the global stage.
Yeah, absolutely. But that still doesn't fully explain why Poland went ahead and bought Starlink for Ukraine in the first place.
Right.
What's their angle? What are they getting out of this?
Okay, so Poland's looking at this as a strategic investment on a few different levels.
Okay, I'm listening.
First and foremost, it's a big boost to Ukraine's defenses against Russia,
Right.
which is a shared concern for both countries, obviously.
Yeah.
This move also puts Poland in a stronger position within NATO.
And how so?
Well, it shows that they're serious about regional security,
Yeah.
that they're willing to step up and take a leading role.
I see.
And then you can't forget about the historical and cultural ties between Poland and Ukraine.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
This move strengthens those bonds while simultaneously pushing back against Russian influence in the region.
Interesting.
It's a pretty carefully calculated move.
It is, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But this whole thing gets even more interesting when you bring Andrei Kovalenko into the picture,
Oh, right, Kovalenko.
head of the Center for Countering Disinformation in Ukraine.
Yeah, what about him?
Well, he's publicly stated that Starlink isn't actually being cut off despite all these reports.
Really?
Yeah. So what do you make of that?
Huh. Well, it's possible that he's trying to, calm everyone down, reassure the public in Ukraine,
Makes sense.
which makes total sense considering how crucial Starlinks become to their daily lives.
Totally.
But then again, maybe he's got access to some intel that we just haven't heard about yet. It's like
Right.
another piece of the puzzle in an already pretty complicated picture.
It really is. And for our listeners out there,
Yeah.
this whole situation really drives home how technology, like Starlink, has completely changed the game
Oh, yeah. Totally agree.
in modern warfare and international relations.
It's a whole new ballgame.
Just imagine a future where access to the internet itself is used as a bargaining chip in global conflicts.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
What would the implications be? It's pretty unsettling to think about.
No kidding? It's not a good picture.
It's not.
No.
So to sum things up for everybody, we've got a bunch of conflicting reports about Starlink in Ukraine.
Yeah.
The U.S. might be using it to try to get access to some key minerals.
Right.
And then we've got Poland stepping up as a major provider,
Yeah.
seemingly motivated by a mix of strategic interests and regional security
It's
concerns.
a lot to unpack.
It really is. And right in the middle of it all, we have Ukraine saying, hey, don't worry, the service is here to stay.
Yeah, it's a very fluid situation. The final outcome, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But one thing's for sure, this whole incident really highlights how the dynamics of power and technology are shifting on the world stage. It makes you wonder as we move forward, will essential resources like internet access become even more common as bargaining tools or even weapons in international conflicts?
Yeah.
It's something worth thinking about for sure.
Yeah, it's a big question for sure.
It is.
So there you have it, folks. That's our deep dive for today.
Fascinating stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.